Alright, so let's take a look at question number 3. So we are told that hydrogen chloride is a compound. Okay, so draw a diagram to show how the electrons are arranged in a molecule of hydrogen chloride. Okay, so hydrogen chloride, let's take a look. Hydrogen chloride is made up of hydrogen and chlorine, right? So hydrogen chloride, this is made up of hydrogen and chlorine. So both of these are non-metals. And we have learned that when a non-metal reacts with a non-metal, they form a covalent compound. Okay, so the first step is to identify that hydrogen chloride is a covalent compound, and then you proceed to draw the covalent compound for hydrogen chloride. So how we do that? So we are given the proton numbers of hydrogen and chlorine, right? So we draw out our hydrogen first, okay, and we draw our chlorine as such. Okay, so for hydrogen, the electronic structure is just 1. For chlorine, the electronic structure is 2.8.7. Correct? So since chlorine is lacking 1 electron, alright, it will use 1 electron to share. Likewise, for hydrogen, it is lacking 1 electron to obtain the full valence shell. So it will use 1 electron to share, and therefore they have a single bond, and therefore they have a single sharing of electrons here. So what's left? So we can work outwards in or inwards out. So we need to draw the inner shells of electrons as well. So we fill in the valence shell with the remaining 6 electrons here, okay, because there's already 2 electrons inside this bond. And then after that, we have another 8 electrons. And then the remaining 2 electrons in the first shell. So this is how your how your diagram of hydrogen chloride should look like. Okay, make sure you draw all the electrons and account for them. So you can double check how many crosses you have. You should have 17 crosses. And how many circles you have will be 1. Okay, next question. So next question was quite tricky for some of you, because you thought that hydrogen chloride is the same as hydrochloric acid, or you use some of the covalent properties that do not apply to hydrogen chloride. So the first thing that you can start off is to say that hydrogen chloride, since it's a covalent compound, we know that they have a low melting and boiling point, right? So hydrogen chloride has low melting and boiling point. Okay. And what is the reason? Because we are asked to state, right? State and explain a physical property. So physical property can be melting point, boiling point, electrical conductivity, and also the solubility, right? Okay, but for this question, we will focus on only these two. So hydrogen chloride has low melting and boiling point. The reason is because little energy is needed to overcome the weak intermolecular forces of attraction between HCl molecules. Okay, so this is one possible answer. Another possible answer is to explain that HCl can conduct electricity in aqueous state, but not in solid or gaseous state. Okay, so this is the exception compared to the other covalent compounds, because HCl dissolves in water to form hydrochloric acid, and the reason is because in solid or gaseous state, there's no free-moving ions or delocalized electrons to conduct electricity. However, in the presence of water, there's H plus and Cl minus ions which are formed, and therefore they can move around to conduct electricity. Okay,